All right, now we're looking at division with exponents. And there is another shortcut for this one. So if I write out 3 to the 5th over 3 to the 2nd, if I just write that out, 3 times itself 5 times over 3 times itself twice, I could actually cancel these out. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So 1 times anything is itself, right? So we're just left with 3 3s. So 3 to the 3rd power, okay? 3 times 3 is 9 times 3 is 27. So the final answer on that one is 27. Let's look at this one. X to the 10th over x to the 8th. If I were to write out 10 x's, and a lot of times I'll tell my students, just write out a simple example for yourself and then remind yourself what the rule is, and that will help you, okay? I don't think I have 10 yet. 1, 2, 3, 5. Oh, one more. And if I write out 8 on the bottom, okay, look at how many I can simplify. X divided by x, x divided by x, and so on. I like to line them up so it's a little easier for me to see. I've got 2 left over, so my final answer is x to the 2nd power. Okay. Now, if I wanted to do this one over here, x to the 5th over x to the 5th, and just write it out so you can see, look, I can simplify all of them. Now, I didn't make them into zeros, right? I made them into ones. X divided by x is 1, and 1, and 1, and 1. Well, what's 5 1s times each other? And it's just 1. So that crazy example is just, the answer is 1. And so the shortcut, hopefully you've seen the shortcut, and we'll come to it when we look right here. The shortcut for division is, if I have 5 and then 2, I ended up with 3. If I had 10 and 8, I ended up with 2. If I had 5 and 5, I didn't have any, right? So that was actually x to the 0 power. So the shortcut for division with exponents is to subtract your exponents. Okay, so 5 minus 2 was 3, and then we solved that in our calculator, or 10 minus 8 is 2. 5 minus 5 is 0, and so it doesn't feel super simple, but anytime you raise any number or variable to the 0 power, it's 1. So that's a rule that we talk about a lot. We've talked about it this year before, but I want to make sure that you're aware of that. So taking that rule that we know, what's 2 minus 7? Okay, 4 to the power of 2 minus 7 is negative 5. Okay, so all we have to do there is remember our apartment. I'm going to build the apartment. 4 to the negative 5th moves downstairs. The exponent is now positive outlook. And then since no one else is upstairs, we can put a 1 there. It doesn't change that value. Okay, so there's my final answer, and there's my final answer for those. Okay, so let's look at a couple quick examples that are a little bit more complex, and they start to look at all the things that we're learning together. Okay, so if I have, I'll change colors here. If I have 2 to the 2nd, a to the 4th, 2 and a's, I got 2's and a's all over the place, right? And I kind of highlighted your a's so they went together. So as the detective, you have to pick out the things that relate to each other. Look for the matching bases. Let's start by looking at this. 2 to the negative 3rd power raised to the 2nd power. This is a group of a group, so we're going to say negative 3 times 2. So this is really 2 to the 6th. Okay. This 2 to the 2nd and 2 to the negative 5th, I'll just keep where they are. And then I have a to the 4th over a to the 3rd. So let's go ahead and take care of our a's before we continue simplifying our 2's. There's lots of different ways you can kind of jump around and do things in a different order. So a to the 4th over a to the 3rd is our rule. We just learned it. It's just to subtract. So we have just one a left. 4 minus 3 is just 1. And that a is going to be on the top, a to the 1st. So we're done with our a's now. Okay. But let's go ahead and figure out our 2's. So this guy, he's positive. He's happy up there on the 2nd floor of the apartment. 6 is happy. Negative 5, not happy. Let's move that guy. Okay, so when we move, this one stays, this one stays, this one stays, all positive exponents. This one wanted to move upstairs, 2 to the positive 5 now. Now, no one else is downstairs, right? So we can actually just we can go back to being, focusing on this as just a number without being in fraction form. That's fine. So, but we still have to finish up and add our exponents. We have 2 to the 2nd, to the 6th, and to the 5th. So that's going to be 2, and it's to the 8th, plus 5 is to the 13th, which doesn't sound like a big number, but it gets big pretty quickly. And that a, or a to the first, is still there. Okay, so we're almost done. Get my calculator out again. Okay, 2 to the 13th power is 8,192. So that equals 8,192, and there's just an a right there on the end, or a to the first, okay? All right, so now, again, apply what we know. If we can simplify 4 and 5, we will. But look, this 2 over here, that's going to come into play with our numbers in a little bit as well. Let's clean up with our c's, okay? Let's move them where they want to go first. That's one approach. So 4, we're going to keep 4 there for right now. We're going to keep 5. C is happy because it's a positive 2. This guy's unhappy, so we're going to move him downstairs. C to the positive 8. C to the negative 4th becomes positive 4 upstairs, and that 2 stays down there as well. So again, just one way to approach it. And so now let's get all of our C's together. We've got 6 of them upstairs, and we've got 8 of them downstairs. Okay, so we're going to get to that. We can simplify that in a little bit. But right here, we can simplify this to be 4. In fact, 4 is over here, and 4 is over here, so we can simplify that and say 4 divided by 4 is 1. So we're done with that. We don't have to do anything else. We could have multiplied 5 times 4 and simplified that fraction, but that's fine. You don't have to necessarily do that. I'm going to put that 5 still right out in front. So we got our numbers taken care of. We got our C's taken care of. So we're going to go ahead, and these are better called our coefficients, I should probably say. 6 minus 8 is going to be a negative 2, okay? Or if you want to visualize it, imagine 6 C's, 8 C's, and 6 of them will cancel out, and 2 will be left on the bottom. Because if I get C to the negative 2nd, it's just going to have to move downstairs anyway to become positive. So we've got nothing up top now. Our 5 is downstairs, and it's C to the 2nd. Okay, so again, you could have said 6 minus 8 and gotten a 6 C to the negative 2nd, moved it downstairs, and then you'd have C to the positive 2nd. And that would be your final answer as well.